Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, today is day 23 of the Schumer shutdown of the government, and we just heard the minority leader right here on the floor continue to practice the politics of pain, and it's pain felt by the American people. Remember, Senator Schumer is the one that said to the press, every day gets better for us. I don't know who us is. It's not the American people, not the people who come to work all across the country, the Wyoming National Guard, people all around America, people in your state as mine, Mr. President, people who aren't going to get paid. Senator Schumer said, can't we do anything about it? Yeah, they could vote to open the government. Yesterday, they decided once again to vote to keep the government shut. And tomorrow, hundreds of thousands of federal workers are going to miss their paychecks because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats will not vote to open the government. Won't do it, haven't done it. 23 days. Democrats have now set the record for the longest full-time government shutdown in American history. In previous shutdowns, some of the agencies stayed open. Not now. Longest history of the United States government shutdown of the entire government. Because this time, no one's getting paid. Not the police officers who had to come in during the so-called filibuster by the senator from Oregon, Senator Merkley. None of the people at the desk, none of the people who were working around the Capitol, none of even the Democrat staff or the Republican staff who were here as Senator Merkley droned on and on and on through the night, reading the same poem 4 times. To no avail. It was rubbish, all of it. Democrats have shut down this government, and they are punishing the American people as a result, and they're more concerned about playing politics than they are about protecting working families. It's a big game that they're playing as American families suffer, and they don't seem to care that families are suffering. They're actually bragging about the fact that families are suffering. This is the whip, the Democrat whip in the House of Representatives. What did she say this week? It wasn't just some slip of the tongue. She was in an interview. There's a video of her on television. I saw it earlier this morning, of saying, of course there's going to be families who are going to suffer. Of course, she says, there's going to be suffer, almost gleefully, because it's one of the few leverage times we have. That is the Democrat whip of the House of Representatives. You may have served with her, Mr. President, when you served in the House before coming to the Senate. You know this individual. This is the politics of pain practiced by the Democrats, and apparently they don't believe that withholding paychecks or stamps or funding to feed women and infants and children is a problem. They think it's leverage. They think it's a big game. Leverage for what? To give taxpayer-funded health care to illegal immigrants? That's one of the demands that we got from Chuck Schumer in the letter, the demand to open the government. Lay it all out there. What do they want? Lots of things, including health care free, paid for by taxpayers for illegal immigrants. They wanted $1.5 trillion in permanent new spending added to the debt. Because who are they trying to impress? The radical wing of the Democrat Party. Their radical left wing. That's what the Democrats are trying to do. That's what Chuck Schumer is trying to do. He doesn't care. He's standing here talking. He's only talking to one group. It's the radical wing of the party, the people in New York who've nominated Mondami to be the mayor of that city. The Democrats are willing to cause the American people to suffer because they want to continue to pass liberal policies that Americans don't want, never voted for, but they're being demanded by that radical wing of the Democrat Party. Well, so what have we done as Republicans? We have proposed a clean, bipartisan, continuing resolution to reopen the government and that pays the workers who have been working for weeks without pay so they don't miss their paychecks. Democrats have rejected it, continued to reject it, not once, not twice, 12 times. It's a cycle of obstruction, Mr. President. Democrats voted for clean continuing resolutions, as I've seen you say, Mr. President, a number of times, heard you say it on television. The Democrats voted for it 13 different times when Joe Biden was president. Now they oppose it. Why? Because President Trump is in the White House, and they don't even like the White House. They just had a picture of some of the improvements that the president is doing at the White House. They don't like that either. They don't like the fact he's in the White House. They don't like the fact he's improving the White House. They don't like the fact he's going to continue to be in the White House. And speaking of the president, just days ago, he told the Democrats he's happy to meet. And I agree, we were there when he said it. says happy to meet once they reopen the government. But since the Democrats continue to refuse to reopen the government, the Senate's going to try to do the next best thing. So today, this body is going to move to begin debate on Senator Johnson's Shutdown Fairness Act. So let's talk about it. There is not a single good argument that I have heard against passing it immediately, because this bill ensures that the men and women who keep our nation safe, that they receive their pay during this Schumer Democrat-caused shutdown as they play politics. We got to pay the people who are keeping our nations safe. It pays our troops. They're protecting our nation at home and abroad. It pays the Coast Guard as they continue to patrol our waters. It pays Border Patrol as they defend our southern border. It pays members of Immigration Customs Enforcement as they round up and deport illegal immigrant criminals. It pays the air traffic controllers who guide flights safely to their destination. It pays the TSA agents who screen the passengers at every airport in America. It pays the Capitol Police officers that have worked for weeks here without pay. It applies back to the very first day of the Schumer shutdown, and that means employees will get their full pay. It applies to this shutdown, and it applies to future shutdowns, and I think that's very important, Mr. President. We cannot allow the Democrats to continue to painfully treat the people and use the American people as what the whip calls in the Democrats' House leverage, hurting American people for leverage. No. So not just this shutdown, future shutdowns to provide stability and predictability to those who keep us safe. So would I prefer a clean continuing resolution that fully reopens government today, immediately? Absolutely. But Democrats have blocked a clean bipartisan continuing resolution every single time we have offered them. And it's been reported that Democrats are going to filibuster this bill today, too. So when Democrats stand up here today and criticize the bill, remember this, the Democrats have a choice. Pay the essential workers who are working right now when they're working here without a paycheck, or send them into the weekend with empty bank accounts and bills they cannot pay. If Democrats vote no, it won't be about fairness. It's all going to be about politics, a dangerous game of politics they're playing. Because remember what the House Democrat whip told the press. She said, of course families are going to suffer. This is a Democrat. Of course, she says, families are going to suffer. And this is one of the few times, the few leverage times we have. It's not about helping the American people. It's about taking advantage and using the American people maliciously, terribly, disgustingly, disgracefully. Democrats vote no. It's all going to be about leverage for the pain the American people have. Mr. President, it's time to reopen the government. It truly is.